Hello everybody and welcome back to Global Walks. I'm Timothy, your virtual tour guide, and for today, I'm thrilled to have you with me for another immersive walking experience through the streets of London. For those of you who are new to Global Walks, it is a virtual walking tour on Google Maps and Google Street View. The purpose of this video is to provide you all the information at your fingertips should you ever need to make a walk along this road and find out all the sights along it. You can use it as your virtual tour guide to explore the places covered, or simply watch this video to get to know the places described. Today's walk is packed with history, politics, architecture, and even a bit of royalty. For this video, we will walk from Parliament Square Garden to Charing Cross. The distance is about half a mile. We are starting right at the northeast corner of Parliament Square Garden, in front of the imposing statue of Sir Winston Churchill, and will be heading north all the way to Charing Cross. This is a walk through the heart of British power, past iconic buildings, famous statues, and historic pubs. So get comfy, put on your virtual walking shoes, and let's dive in. Let's begin with where we are. Parliament Square Garden is surrounded by some of UK's most important buildings. To one side, you've got the majestic Palace of Westminster and Big Ben, and across the square, you see Westminster Abbey. It's a place where politics, protests, and ceremonies often collide. Right now, we are standing in front of one of the most photographed statues here, Sir Winston Churchill, Britain's Prime Minister during World War II. His statue, unveiled in 1973, gazed resolutely towards Parliament, a symbol of leadership in hard times. His slightly hunched posture and defiant expression were captured beautifully by sculptor Ivor Roberts-Jones. Now we are going to begin our walk. We'll cross St. Margaret's Street, then Bridge Street, which runs in front of Big Ben, and head into Parliament Street, the southern part of the road that becomes Whitehall. We'll walk north past major government buildings until we reach Charing Cross. Let's go! Our first stop is here, just in front of 1 Parliament Street. This elegant white stone building blends seamlessly into the Palace of Westminster complex. It's used for parliamentary offices and meetings. Although it looks part of the palace, it's actually a separate office block, modern inside but classical on the outside to match the surroundings. Right next to us is one of the busiest underground stations in the country, Westminster Tube Station. Completely rebuilt and reopened in 1999 as part of the Jubilee Line extension, this deep-level station now serves the District, Circle, and Jubilee lines. If you have ever seen photographs of escalators disappearing into a vast industrial-like cavern, this is it. The station is a marvel of modern engineering tucked beneath centuries of history. To your left, on the west side of the street, is the Grand His Majesty Revenue and Customs Building. This imposing structure is part of the government offices Great George Street. It houses tax and customs administration officers, yes, the people who send those letters we all dread. Just a few steps up is Derby Gate. This arched passageway leads into more government buildings but is not open to the public. If you're wondering what's behind the scene of Whitehall, this is part of that hidden network. Next up, King Charles Street. Now this is a beauty, a short but elegant street with a magnificent Edwardian archway at each end. It links Parliament Street with St. James's Park and is lined with several government departments. Right on the corner is the iconic Red Lion pub. This place has been a watering hole for politicians, journalists, and curious tourists for decades. It's said that almost every Prime Minister of the 20th century popped in here at least once. On the east side of Parliament Street, you'll see a row of beautiful neoclassical buildings. These date mainly to the 19th century and now house various government offices. Their facades have barely changed in over a century. Now we arrive at the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, one of the most architecturally impressive buildings in Whitehall. Built in the 1860s, is still in use today and plays a central role in UK diplomacy and international relations. Think of it as Britain's link to the rest of the world. Just ahead of us is the Cenotaph, a solemn white Portland stone memorial to Britain's war dead. Unveiled in 1920, is the focal point of Remembrance Sunday each year. The word Cenotaph means empty tomb and is a place of deep national reflection. And there's Downing Street on our left. Number 10 is, of course, the official residence of the Prime Minister. But don't expect to get too close. The street has been gated and guarded since 1980s due to security concerns. Behind those black iron gates, beyond the police presence, lies one of the most powerful addresses in the country. As we continue walking north, Parliament Street ends and we officially enter Whitehall. The name comes from the former Palace of Whitehall, once the main royal residence before it burned down in 1698. All that remains is one stunning fragment. Coming up to our right is the only fragment of the Palace of Whitehall, which is the Banqueting House. Designed by Inigo Jones in the 1620s, is the only surviving part of the old palace. It's also where King Charles I was executed in 1649 right outside the building. Across from it is the Women of World War II Memorial, a striking bronze monument unveiled in 2005. It honors the countless roles women played during the war: nurses, factory workers, pilots, mechanics. The sculpture's 17 uniforms hang empty, symbolizing the women who filled those roles then returned to everyday life. To the right now is the sprawling Ministry of Defence building, home to the top brass of Britain's armed forces. It's an enormous and heavily guarded site where decisions about military strategy are made daily. We are now approaching a cluster of statues. Here is the equestrian statue of Field Marshal Earl Haig, commander of British forces in World War I. Just behind it is the statue of Spencer Compton, 8th Duke of Devonshire, a statesman from the Victorian era. Right in front of us is the Grand Horse Guards building with its elegant arches. Beyond those arches lie Horse Guards Parade, where the changing of the guard ceremony takes place. This is also where Trooping the Colour happens every year for the monarch's official birthday. Now feast your eyes on this. Raffles London at the OWO, once the Old War Office, now transformed into one of the city's most luxurious hotels. It was here that Churchill had his wartime offices and where Ian Fleming worked, yes, the creator of James Bond. To our left is another equestrian statue, this one of Field Marshal George, Duke of Cambridge, Queen Victoria's cousin and a senior army officer in the 19th century. And on our left again is the Admiralty Complex, a collection of buildings that once coordinated Britain's naval might across the globe. One of these, the Admiralty Extension, now houses government officers. As we near Charing Cross, you notice the architecture begins to shift. The grand government offices of Whitehall give way to shops, theatres and busy London life. Here's the Trafalgar Theatre, a popular West End venue originally built in the 1930s. It's intimate, elegant and right at the crossroad of history and culture. And here we are, Charing Cross, officially the center point from which all distances to London are measured. Just ahead is the equestrian statue of King Charles I, who looks down Whitehall toward the Banqueting House where he was executed. A rather poignant full-circle moment in British history. And that brings us to the end of today's walk. Thanks so much for joining me on this virtual journey from Parliament Square to Charing Cross. If you enjoyed the information I provided on this walk, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more London adventures, and drop a comment below to let me know what you'd like to explore next. And don't forget to click on one of the thumbnails on your screen now to join me on another stroll somewhere. Until next time, take care and keep on discovering.